What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Monday, September 30th, 2024. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Appreciate you all very much. I hope you all had a great weekend, and I hope you get your week off to a really good start. Well, today is the 30th, and this was going to be the final day of my fall equinox eclipse season sale for the $100 discount on a reading. But admittedly, I think I'm gonna go until the eclipse exacts, which is 11:50 Pacific Standard Time, AM, um, on Wednesday the 2nd. So I think I'm gonna extend it to that point, to like basically a noon cutoff Pacific Standard Time on the 2nd. So it's a good time to reach out if you haven't, if you want to take advantage of the discount, but I do believe I'm going to extend it a couple more days just till the eclipse is here. So keep that in mind if you're interested. I think I'm going to let it go a little bit longer. So appreciate everybody that has booked. I got a lot of you that have, and I'm so excited to work with you. Some have already happened, and the next 2 weeks are pretty booked out. So stoked. Let's look at Monday. What an interesting day. I love interesting astrology, and well, it seems like every day we get interesting astrology, but here we are. We're going to have the Sun and Mercury in Libra. They just came off their conjunction with the South Node over the weekend, both of them, and now we get them getting in their superior conjunction. Some people call it a Cazimi. To me, the Cazimi is the retrograde. That's when Mercury's in between the Sun and the Earth from a helio perspective, and from a helio perspective, this is Mercury on the opposite side of the Sun from the Earth's view. So it's Earth, Sun, Mercury. Cazimi, Earth, Mercury, Sun. I don't know. Some people play it both ways. That's just, to me, that's what it means. Cazimi means in the heart of. In the heart of. And what is the Sun? It represents the heart. It's Leo. So Mercury is Cazimi. With the Sun, it's in the heart, in it, from our perception. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, just my opinion. A lot of people, say this and that. I'm just giving you that's my transparency of why I don't call it a Cazimi. Take it for what you want. But it is a conjunction. It is in Libra, and this is definitely bringing a lot of relationship stuff to mind right now. It's having us reevaluate things, and I think that especially with Venus in Scorpio, there's a really positive thing about that, where if we can be comfortable with letting go of bad habits, of toxic traits, manipulative traits, certain things that we've tried to bond and merge with before, but it's almost like the South Node saying, haven't you realized over and over and over and over and over again that this doesn't work? And that's part of the Saturn retrograde in Pisces. That's part of the lunar eclipse that we just had in Pisces. Is like we cannot keep repeating the same thing over and over again in the way that we relate with others. So it's like a super interesting, introspective, heady almost energy today of maybe really realizing we got to break certain patterns off. We just can't identify with these things anymore. What we're actually doing is we're taking on the identity of what somebody else wants, and we're not embracing our own identity. We get further from ourselves every time we do something just to people please, or just to be liked by others, or to be seen as neutral. We lose a little piece of ourselves, and this is a great opportunity, I think, to see where we give our power away, and we let the presence, the opinion, the feelings of other people, take us into dark places and take us into our own, sense of lack of self-worth, a lack of a lot of, things that we want to be building for ourselves as individuals right now. This is such a good opportunity to see these things clearly. And I think with the moon opposite Saturn, it really does help. And there's even a really cool grand trine, by 5-degree orb with Venus. It's not exact, but Mars and Saturn are exact in their trine from Cancer to Pisces. But it's very interesting, like breaking habits, right? This moon in Virgo is like so routine based. But we're starting to see that like some routine is just not in alignment in this Libra season. It's not giving us a good relationship to ourselves. It's not giving us a good relationship to what we want. It's not giving us a good relationship to the people that we want to be in relationships with. Like we might genuinely love and want to be with someone, but we're doing it wrong. And we need to be able to identify these things within ourselves and make changes to that, to be okay with transforming ourselves. And I think a lot of it is an intuitive, like knowing and acting upon because of just a soul growth, a soul maturity. So it's almost like there's just this deep embedding feeling coming into this solar eclipse with the South Node in Libra, with Pluto at the final time we're gonna see Capricorn. We're getting close to only a month left of that. November 18th. So there's a whole lot of like restructuring, and I think really coming into our own integrity, making rules for ourselves that are valid because we know we're worth it. And it's like if we don't have good rules and boundaries for ourselves and how much we give or take, we get manipulated and walked on. And that just brings up self-doubt, and that just makes things harder. And I think that this is where we gotta find some sense of rigidity for our own self-improvement. And I think that the people in our lives are really what's showing if we're making that evolution or not. So that's the beautiful part about the mirror of Libra. And seeing that reflective quality in others, because it's for self-improvement. And I think that we can, clean things up in a really powerful way by taking the stairs up in our life and saying, no, this isn't pure and healthy for me any longer. Maybe it had its time where it was. It's very possible it was at one point. But you have to look at your life now, and be like, well, that had a moment, but it just ended up crumbling. It wasn't really true to my integrity as a soul, as a human, as a person, as a mother, a father, as a lover, as a partner, as whatever. So I do think there's a lot of mental clarity that can be found today, but I do think it can come through in some kind of struggle, some kind of feeling like it's harder than necessary, but that's because breaking old habits is hard. It really is. It's really hard to kick old habits, and especially things that become subconscious habits. Those are the hardest because we almost don't even want to admit that we're doing it. And that's where Saturn here is just take some accountability for yourself. Just grow. Create good boundaries. Be healthy with how much you give, and be healthy with how much you receive. And that's where you find balance too, because you could be someone that always gets stuff given to you, and that's great, but are you giving any back? And likewise, if you're giving all the time and you're never receiving anything back, and you feel like you're stuck in a loop of giving and not receiving, then how are we not recalibrating and realigning things right now? And I think this is where we can really use the astrology right now to get back into alignment, because we can see where things are shaky, where things are just off. And I think that it can be very conscious today, and not only mentally, but I think emotionally, and to see how to identify things and do the necessary work to figure out ways to get out. And I think to really invest in ourselves. And I think that's the weirdest part about this Venus in Scorpio right now, dispositing the South Node, is it's like we want to put all our investments in someone else's basket right now. But what do we put in our own? Because it's still North Node Aries, and we still have Chiron in Aries, and of course we all still feel like we're a little, it's almost like our own individual path, our own, unique identity is still a little weird to us with Chiron there. And then we're really having to find ways to heal our ego but still use our ego. We can't just, give up the ego. But damn, we got to use it in like healthier, more mature ways by investing in ourselves. And I think really seeing deep down how much we're worth it and that we deserve the transformation and the change that can take place in our life by not repeating the same relationship patterns that we have over and over again. Something's got to give. And I think that this is where people are seeing where something's got to give in their life. Because whether it was a handshake deal, some negotiation in life, or a full-on, relationship with someone, if it's not embracing the individual growth of both sides and then growing together as a unit, we're starting to feel very out of alignment with it and starting to wonder why. And it's because it's because you've gotten so far away from your own beauty and your own love that you're forgetting that it's always there for you to find and recalibrate back into. So today, we really want to put, I think, a little bit of emotional work and a little bit of emotional effort in, especially as the moon's making really good aspects to Mars. It is going to square Jupiter in the evening. We've got to do something, and we've got to be able to expand in healthy ways that make sense for ourselves, for our base, our foundation of ourselves as a soul, and we can't just do everything the same, and a lot of it is about relationships right now, and I don't know what that means for everybody. It's definitely like something you have to like ponder on your own, like, what do I do with people in life over and over again that isn't healthy for myself? And it could be something big, it could be something small. It's going to be different for all of us. That's the truth of the matter too. But we all want to try and become aware, because I think that's the beauty and what makes today very interesting, is that we can become very consciously aware of what we're doing, either to manipulate others in a negative way, which is out of our soul's integrity, or what we're doing that is leaving us open and vulnerable and susceptible to somebody else's manipulation, which is absolutely taking us out of our identification of our own beauty and of our own self-worth and of our own deep desire nature to merge. Because we all have this deep desire nature to merge, but do we have that deep desire nature to merge deeper with what we truly need as an individual? Or is it always just to merge with something external? And I think this Monday is like, we got to look at these things and be honest and be clear. Trust our feeling, trust our gut. Because there's big changes coming. It's a whole new chapter that's taking place. Eclipses always bring a new chapter into life. So we just want to make sure we're, setting ourselves up for the best chapter possible. And a lot of it is like not losing track of your own identification of what's you right now, and being comfortable with yourself, and not doing everything you can to, nurture, take care, please, whatever it is, like something else that isn't you, and putting yourself second. It's going to be hard. Every relationship where you put yourself second is going to feel hard. And you could feel like with the moon in Virgo too, that like you're doing the right thing by just being of service. But we're not in Virgo season anymore, and the moon's just here. And I'm telling you, like, it's a dark moon at that, coming up on a solar eclipse. That's just a weird, toxic pattern or routine that we play with ourselves because we're not giving ourselves enough love and enough credit and just enough definition of what we can be doing for ourselves in our life. And I'm telling everybody right now, the more you're able to do for yourself, the more capacity you have to give to others. So you have to get that relationship dialed in first. That's why Taurus comes before Libra, the two Venus-ruled signs. You don't have a relationship with yourself, you just can never have a good relationship the one you really want outside of yourself. It's just the way it works, and I don't make the rules or the zodiac, but it has its purpose, and that's one of them. So this is a great time to break habits, expand past the boundaries that have been blocking you from how to actually form good connections, good relationships. Whether it's with a substance, a person, place, or thing, we all have to figure out how to have better relationships with everything. And we have to break habits, break the chains, break the mold, and become more of a boss for ourselves. And be in a really strong place of authority for how we live and react and act in life. So take that for what it's worth this Monday. And I hope that in some of that, you find something that inspires you. Truly do. See what the tarot has to say. The Star card in reverse. Oh my gosh. The Star card in reverse. I don't know why that pisses me off a little bit to get that card. But it does in reverse. Like that was my first emotion to that, was just kind of like a little bit upset. Because I love the Star card. And it represents new beginnings and feeling divinely guided through the new beginnings. But this one's weird getting it reversed because there's new beginnings and it's happening and it's all divinely in place for every single one of us. But for some reason, it's like the collective doesn't want to it doesn't want to follow the divine guidance that we're getting. It wants to almost use its ego to lose its ego. I don't even know where that just came from. But yeah, why do we get the Star card reversed? The Lovers. No, this is the Badass Tarot, and this is definitely a gay couple. Which is funny, because I do think that the way relationships are shifting with Pluto coming into Aquarius it is a little bit different, if you know what I mean. And that's the thing, is I think that true love is true love, and there's unconditional love and there's conditional love. And I think that conditional love is based on a lot of things. Conditions, of course. Wanting something, feeling like you need something from someone else, feeling like they need something from you. A lot of rules and stipulations. Unconditional love, on the other hand, gets thrown around a lot in the spiritual community, but I'm not sure people really understand the unconditional part of unconditional love, because unconditional means there's zero conditions. Unconditional love is like what a mother has for their son or daughter, or a father has for their son or daughter. That son can be a complete dickhead. That daughter could be but you love them anyways. And they might drive you crazy, but there's always going to be that love there. No matter what they do, there's just so much love there. It's like, gosh, of course you could wish all sorts of things for people all you want, but the love never goes away. It's unconditional. Or just the fact that people need to be free to love the way they want. I don't know. These are two very interesting cards, two major arcana, two great cards. One's great and it just happens to be reversed. But to me, it's like, if we can start fixing some of these weird things that we do to sabotage ourselves, which ultimately sabotage our relationships, we're actually going to find much, much, much better love. And maybe it's with the same people we're with, or maybe there has to be new people to find that love with. But it all starts with you loving yourself first and embracing your own uniqueness. And, also not putting so many conditions on yourself for love. Because once you're able to take the conditions away, you do start to see exactly where the signs and the synchronicities are pointing. I think right now they're pointing to a lot of really beautiful changes that are going to be in everybody's favor for getting back into alignment and finding themselves. But gosh, it does feel like there's a lot of tests and a lot of blocks and a lot of things that are just trying to make you doubt yourself when you should really be trusting and acting for yourself. I love you all very much. I hope you have a beautiful Monday. I'll see you all tomorrow. Much love. Peace.